in your sphere of influence, where do you think the jobs of the future are going to be?
Yeah, look, I think there's sort of geographic, and then there is sort of functional, right? Geographic, the way that the world is connected, I don't think you suddenly need to just be in Silicon Valley to have an impact on the world, right? It might have been that way 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, but innovation exists everywhere around the globe today, right? We're connected, the networks are on. So, I don't think that people should feel sort of bound by where they are and think that, oh, because I'm in India or because I'm in Nigeria or because I'm in China, like I can't innovate. I think that is dramatically changing. In terms of the skill sets, a lot of it is still around, and this is my limited view of the world because I've been in technology the whole time, but very much around programming, around data science, around AI over time. But look, even every community is touched by this, right? If I think about VR again, how do you tell a story when suddenly you've moved from this flat screen to a 360 environment? How do we haven't even invented the grammar on how to tell those stories, right? Do I give you cues? How do I give you cues? Oh, that's weird. How do I give cues behind me, right, to know that that's there? So I think there's opportunity across the board, and it's just sort of like, what is the part of technology that gets you excited? And then how do you take that passion and build something with it?
Ash, since we are on the topic of entrepreneurship, I think there is a little observation that I have about Facebook from my interaction with Facebook for the past 4 years. It is a company that probably has experimentation ingrained into the DNA. I mean, there is no fear of failure, which is how amazing is that for a startup or an entrepreneurial company. But when you become as big as Facebook, do you think it is some orientation within the company, or is it just a ringside view that there is no fear of failure?
Yeah, no, look, culture is something that we spend a lot of time, I personally spend a lot of time thinking about, right? As we've gone from really 25 to 250 to 2,500 to 25,000 people now, how do we maintain that innovative hacker mentality, that culture that got us to where we are? Look, there's a few examples that we can look at. The first one just really starts with our recruiting process for engineering. Right? We have this program called Boot Camp, which all engineers, no matter sort of what level you're hired into, whether you're the most senior engineer or you're just out of university, or even out of high school, you come into this boot camp program for 6 weeks, and you're trained on the tools, you're trained on the infrastructure, you're given all the things that you need to understand how to be part of the Facebook engineering ecosystem. And then something really interesting happens, right? In most companies, managers come in and they pick or they hire people, and you're going to go work on widget X or on technology B. We do it totally differently. We flip it on its head. So managers have to come in with their projects and pitch and sell recruits from boot camp to come join them. Right, so that alone, like that dynamic keeps things extremely fresh, right? Like you can work on projects and you can go recruit. You have this endless pool of engineers that we have, but they've got to want to follow you, right? And that's a very different mentality than I think a lot of other companies use. Of like, you're going to come in and you're going to work on this, and like, are you passionate about it? Like, no, like this allows people to match passion and skills, and I think like that is one of the big things that we continue to do. Look, another one in terms of culture is we use Facebook internally a lot, right? I'm friends with just about everyone I work with, and look, what this does is it builds empathy, right? So when I landed in Mumbai a couple of days ago, like I'd seen pictures of all the folks I was going to work with at Holi, or of their kids, and there's this intense and instant connection, and with that connection you build that empathy, and with that empathy comes trust, and with that trust you can move fast, right? And that trust allows you to take risks, where I know that you've got my back. I know that if I fail, you're going to help pick me up, and we're going to keep going. And look, this comes from the top, right? Like Mark, Cheryl, this is how they've set the culture of the company. And in many ways, it's our job to continue to preserve it.